Should we talk VAR? I know lots of you want to have your sound that 03717223344.
It's a joke.
It is a joke. It is a joke. When you watched the game, did you think that he was onside or not straight away?
You know, when I first saw it, I thought he's onside there. But because of how quickly the game moved on, I was like, oh, maybe they got it right then. But I did think it was very strange that we didn't see the lines and then the game was played on. And I mean, it's the worst one. In my opinion, it's the worst one that they've got wrong. And I can understand the outrage from Jurgen Klopp and even football fans as such, because it's such a bad decision. And the fact that someone forgot or didn't have the courage, should I say, to
that's it.
Courage to dial in the referee. The game. Listen, I know you've let the game go on, but no, it's wrong. You've got to stop the game again. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people would have had more respect for that.
Yeah, it was all about the conversation and the words check complete. The VAR, my understanding is the VAR in Stockley Park were checking whether or not there was anything wrong with the goal. Didn't know there was an offside. Yeah. And the referee on the pitch was waiting to find out if it was offside. Well,
because I was at Stockley Park on Sunday, and that was the general consensus that I think when they said check complete, they thought the referee had given the goal. They weren't sure. They didn't know that they'd given the offside.
That's right.
So when they then looked up and saw that the game was being played from a free kick, that's the time to go, well, no, what are you doing? Yeah. We've got it wrong.
And it's all very well saying, we can't go back. It's your rules. Break your own rules to make sure the right outcome.
In that scenario, you have to signal the referee.
I should say, in the last, I think it was the World Cup. Which was the last major was the World Cup. You've got the Euros World Cup. Do you remember we had the semi-automated offsides?
Unbelievable that.
It was like
glowing, like whatever's offside.
Like little kneecaps coming through the sort of virtual screen, right? So I'm thinking, why have they not used that? Premier League hierarchies were all reportedly in agreement with the PGMOL that a wider number of angles at grounds would be better than semi-automated offsides. Now, let me tell you, if you've got semi-automated offsides, right, that goal's given straight away.
100%.
Why are you not voting for that? I just find that really, really bizarre.
It's bonkers, but I guess if they get the opportunity to vote now, they will. Because that.
Of course they will. The Premier League clubs, here we go, were concerned that the system would soon become outdated. So it's not outdated yet, but they're concerned it would become outdated soon.
Honestly, it's bonkers.
But that if you would have voted for that, Liverpool, I'm not saying it's Liverpool's fault.
No.
Spurs, Liverpool, mate, if you'd have, that goal would have stood. It's as simple as that.
I get it, but again, it's not their fault. It's the what's called fault. It's definitely the guys who in VAR. And again, this is why you need an extra pair of eyes, hands. You need I think a footballer in there, ex-manager, something. You need more than just the referees in Stockley Park, and that's what they need to do. But again, when you look back at this decision and what's happened to it without drawing the lines and then not signalling the referee, it's appalling. It's a really appalling look.
What do you make of this, Benny? A formal request to receive the audio recording between officials from the weekend defeat to Spurs.
I would love to hear that.
I think we'd all love to hear that.
Panic, you'd hear.
I don't know if it would be panic.
You would. You'd hear absolutely not. After the moment they say, all right, check complete, and then they realise it's not been a goal. Oh, can you imagine the conversations after that?
What I want to know and want to hear, if it's said, is whether or not anyone has said, hold on, stop. Let's go back a bit. Paul, we thought you meant is the goal. Okay, we didn't know about the offside.
There has to be.
There was no offside, so the goal should stand.
Yeah.
Stop. That conversation needs to have happened, right?
Honestly, it has to have been, and I think generally after that he went check complete and the ref played on and they looked down and saw that it was a free kick and not centre. I reckon the panic would have been, oh no, what have we done here? But I get it. Once play starts, you're not supposed to be able to change it. But I think in that instance, you have to go referee, stop the game again.
How much of the game would have changed if that goal would have gone in? Everything.
I think
I'm right in saying they're already down to 10 men, weren't they? Curtis Jones had already been sent off.
Yeah, but you look how dangerous Liverpool looked even with 10 men. They get that goal 1-1.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Then you go, oh, okay, they had a couple of opportunities, and then Diaz has the chance right at the before half time where he puts it wide. Completely different game. Listen, Spurs might have still gone on to win it, but that's a perfectly good goal.
Do you think there will be any call from either fans or the club to, and I know you can't, to replay the game?
Yeah, I reckon there's going to be some people going to say replay the game, but I just don't see how you...
Well, you can't. But it's a mistake that's made on the day.
It's not even like that happened at the end of the game where there's no time left. We can go, well, they probably would have won the game. Because it's bang middle in the first half, there's so much could have happened after that I don't quite know what the outcome is, but I know Liverpool are going to push, and I'm glad that they're asking for the audio, because you need to hear what kind of conversation went on when it comes to that situation, because for me, that's been the worst one we've seen.
What happens if we get to the end of the season and Liverpool have lost the league by a point or 2 points?
They'll be raging. But then also, it's not like Liverpool are going to... they're not going to win every game between now and the end of the season.
No, they're not.
They will drop points elsewhere.
Yes.
But a lot of people will look at this and go, this ain't great, this.
Okay. Do you still think our game of football is better for having VAR in the long run?
I never said it was. I was always one that I liked it before, where people score a goal, they look at the linesman's running back to the halfway line.
But if that's the case, this goal wouldn't have stood anyway. Because the linesman flagged, so it's not a goal.
I get that, but I think the most frustrating thing about this is that, yes, the linesman still made a mistake, but we got VAR in to make sure these type of mistakes don't happen, and they forget to they just
talk to each other. Let's take a call, shall we? Dan's a Liverpool fan. Let's call us on 03717 223344. Hello, Dan.
Hello, how are you? You good?
Can you put into words how raging you feel at the moment and how raging you were when that decision was made?
Well, when the decision was made, I was actually at the game. So when you're there, you don't actually see what's going on. Like, you didn't see it on the screen or nothing. So the first instinct would be, all right, he must be offside because it's gone to VAR and they've thrown a line. So we're all thinking, right, that's it. Okay, no goal, fair enough. But then, obviously, seeing the images and stuff like that after, it doesn't help. But when you were saying about replaying the game and stuff like that, that's just silly. That's never going to happen.
No, that's right.
If you go back, though, to Man United versus Brighton, so you said, like, obviously they've took the free kick, then let's go back to the referee and say, right, listen, you've made a mistake. Man United and Brighton, what was it, 2 seasons ago? The game finished. The referee blew off for full time. The game had finished. Man United then got a penalty.
That's right.
Bruno Fernandes scored it. So they obviously can. They can go back after.
Well, they did it. I think I'm right in saying, Dan, they did it in the World Cup when France were playing Tunisia, and it was to do with, it went back for a Griezmann incident. So it can be done.
Yeah, so it can be done. So all this, like them saying, oh no, we can't go back after you blew the whistle. Well, you can because you blew up full time, the end of the game. Then you brought the players back on to take a penalty, and then it was full time. So it can be done. Do
you know what, Dan? I think in that situation where the mistake is that bad, I think even if they're not supposed to, I think they have to.
Yo, definitely, mate. Like, obviously, if they must know then. But what I don't get is as well is how did they think they give a goal? What were they doing? But what were they watching the game?
No, you understand the mix-up though, Dan, right?
Yeah, I understand the mix-up. They've thought that the on-field decision was onside, and they've said decision. You've got the right decision.
Yes.
But how
complete.
How did they think he give the goal? Because what would he do?
Do you know, that's a really good point, Dan. Like, what are they watching to know that?
Were they sat watching Sky movies or something with popcorn? And
he's got a point there.
Yeah, like what are they doing?
Are you aware that both Darren England and Dan Cook, who are responsible for the VAR, they were both in the UAE, I think on Thursday?
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. See, again, and then there's people saying like, oh, they could be tired, but there's referees who referee Champions League and League Cup every week. So I'll be honest, I don't really have an issue. That's not the issue. The issue is they're there in that moment.
That's nuts, yeah.
How are they thinking that the referees give a goal? I'll be honest, the referee, he might not have had the brilliant game, but he might be getting the bad end of the stick for it, but it ain't his fault.
No, it's not.
If they've said check complete in his ear, he's thought, my line.
Yeah, totally.
The point I made before is why is the referee going to the monitor whilst they draw the line so he can watch it, and also whilst the linesman not? Because at the end of the day, they're a team. Even though it's Liverpool against Tottenham, the referees they should. I don't think you need to go to the monitor to have a look at the lines. In theory, it's black or white. You're onside or you're offside, right? Oh yeah, definitely. But how many times have they've got the lines wrong?
Yeah,
or does it play, you know what I mean? So then at least you've got the lines when it gives the decision. The play moves that fast. If he saw it, he's just put his flag up. I agree. You know.
Dan, listen, we've got to go to a break, but we'll take more calls on the back. You've been brilliant. Have we spoke to you before, Dan?
No, you haven't.
Okay, well, make sure you call back. What a wonderful call. You know your stuff. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, cheers. No worries. Have a good one. See you later.
Thank you, man. There you go, Dan, a Liverpool fan.
Do you know, out of all the officiating that's happened in that game, the referee's probably the least one to blame because it's the linesman who gives the offside.
Yeah.
And it's them in Stockley Park.
Yeah, and then he's got the... No.
Yeah. He's got the check complete. All right, play on then.
Yeah. And I think it was about a minute or two later that Spurs went on and scored as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrific. Absolutely horrific.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.